The plant-based diet for beginners, that's what this video is going to be all about. And after receiving this question in the comments many times over the last couple years, I figured it's about time I make a complete guide on how to get started eating plant-based. Hey everybody, welcome back to Minus the Gym. And for those of you new to the channel, my name is Ryan, and I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition specialist. And I've been eating plant-based now since 2011. So this is late 2020. I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary eating plant-based, and I figured it's about time I make a beginner's guide to how to start eating this way. I've experienced so many health benefits from eating plant-based, and I'm not going to get into that in this video, but if you're interested, check out my welcome video. The first video I ever uploaded on Minus the Gym. It explains everything you need to know, like all the health benefits I experienced. And I continue to experience more energy and just better recovery from my workouts. So that's why I keep eating this way. It's fantastic for our bodies. But this video is going to be about actually the 5 steps that I recommend when you start going plant-based. Now we'll go into each of these in detail, but just really quick, high level. The first step I recommend is a kitchen reboot. Second step is stocking up on the staple foods. Third, you're going to want to look at your tools and make sure you have the right tools in your arsenal for eating plant-based. Fourth, you want to plan ahead. This is not just shopping lists, but also planning for social gatherings. And 5, you want to go out, go shopping, and start cooking and eating all the delicious food. So let's get started with step 1, the kitchen reboot. Honestly, there's just 2 main categories of food you want to remove from your diet and therefore remove from your kitchen. And the first category is, of course, animal products. This is not just the red meats, but also pork, any chicken, turkey, or other poultry you might eat. Milk and dairy products, you also want to get that out of there. And of course, eggs are on the list as well. And the second category of foods that you want to get rid of and get out of your kitchen is refined foods. And by refined, I mean it's just one nutrient extracted from a whole food. So in terms of refined carbohydrates, this would be your white table sugar, that's used a lot in baking and other things, as well as white flour. And this also includes refined fats. So oils, any cooking oils that you use, don't worry, you can saute and everything without oil. I'll explain that. And you also want to get rid of any butter. That's included in animal products, but it's also a refined fat. Now, not everybody is willing to throw away food and waste it. So if you don't want to throw this stuff in the garbage, just find a friend or relative who's not looking to make healthier food choices and offer to give it to them, and I'm sure you'll find someone to take it. And yes, I realize that, we live with significant others or spouses or friends or family or roommates, whoever it might be that you live with. If they're not making healthier food choices, then you can't just get rid of the sugar or get rid of the meat. I understand that. So if you're living with someone who's not making these healthier food choices and they're not on board with you, what you need to do instead is a mental kitchen reboot, meaning you have to tell yourself, and you have to be strong psychologically, have willpower, and say that those foods are off limits. Even though they are still in your kitchen, they're not there for you. Now, I imagine somebody's going to ask, well, what about protein powder, right? Because that's a refined protein, so should I throw that away? Well, if it's made from milk, like whey protein or casein, then yes, I would chuck it, get rid of it. But I do recommend for people who are athletic, right? If you're doing resistance training, trying to build muscle or build strength, then you should, be eating enough protein, and it doesn't hurt to have protein powder in your diet. Okay, moving on to step 2, stocking up on staples. And there's going to be a lot of foods as you eat plant-based that you realize are staple foods. Like you need lots of them, you need a constant flow of them in your house, and they have many different purposes. So I'm going to tell you some of those right now, and these are some that you should, if you don't already have them in your pantry, just start stocking up on them because it's good to have a pipeline. Now, for those of you who've been following my channel, you'll probably laugh at this, but first and foremost, I recommend bananas. Bananas are such a staple. I eat probably at least 5 bananas a day on average, sometimes more. And what I love about them is that they're so versatile. You can just peel them and snack on them. You can put them in fruit salads. You can blend them in smoothies. You can freeze them and make nice cream. You can use the frozen ones for smoothie bowls. I mean, there's so many things you can do with bananas, and they are so good for you. So definitely keep a pipeline of bananas going so that you have some that are not ripe and some that are ripe and ready. And let me show you really quick what a ripe banana really looks like, because a lot of people eat them before they're ripe. Let me go grab one. All right, let me get this to focus really quick. Notice how this banana has a lot of brown spots on it and there's no green whatsoever left on the banana. This is actually how you want your bananas to look. This is a ripe and ready banana. It's very sweet. All right, and what you'll notice is when you peel it, now that might be hard to see because of the lighting, but there's very few bruises on this banana considering how brown the peel was. This is nice and ripe and sweet, and it's perfect for smoothies, perfect for nice cream and everything. So this is how you want your bananas to be. And excuse me for 1 minute while I go enjoy this. Dates are another fruit that you want to stock up on. And there's a certain time of the year, actually right around this time, like September through November, when fall is beginning, is a great time to get fresh dates. They're really gooey and soft and chewy and super sweet. Great for making desserts, putting into smoothies. I love dates. Just check them out. If you haven't had dates before, just try them. I really think if you like sweets, you'll love dates. Nut butters. All right, I am a peanut butter fan, but this also includes almond butter, cashew butter, tahini. Tahini is a sesame seed butter. All of these are just a nut or seed that's ground up and processed until it becomes like a creamy, buttery substance. And they're great for making creamy sauces and dressings. So definitely keep nut butters on hand. Vinegars too. All right, vinegars are going to be used in a lot of dressings and sauces as well on the plant-based diet. So make sure you stock up on balsamic vinegar, red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, rice vinegar. You'll find that different recipes call for different vinegars for different flavorings. So make sure you have a variety of those. Oh, apple cider vinegar as well. Apple cider vinegar with the mother, which is like the yeast residue in there, is really good for your health. I actually just take shots of ACV sometimes because I'm weird. Hot sauces, if you like Tabasco or Frank's or whatever it might be, keep those on hand if you like it spicy because you can use those in the plant-based diet as well. Just make sure, be careful because if you branch off into buffalo sauce and all that, you'll find some have oil and very high sodium, so be mindful of that. All right, and then you want to move on to your staples in terms of whole grains, legumes, and lentils. These are like dried beans, dried lentils, and things that you can stock up on and store them in your pantry. That's how we store them actually. We have mason jars, these really big mason jars that we keep on the top shelf, and we have them labeled. So our quinoa, our rice, our oats, everything is right there on the top shelf for us. Pasta as well, all right? Boxes of pasta we also keep in our pantry, but on the bottom shelf. And you can stock up on those too. So it's good to have a supply just for those times where you haven't really planned a meal and you need something quick. You can cook up a grain or a whole grain pasta or something like that. See what kind of veggies you have in the fridge and just whip something up on the fly. Now we got to take a look at your tool arsenal. All right, and what I mean by that is your kitchen utensils and your kitchen tools and appliances that are, a lot of what you have from eating a diet with meat and refined foods is also going to apply to plant-based, but there are some appliances and tools that you might not have that are really crucial to a successful plant-based diet. First and foremost, I cannot emphasize this enough, a high-powered blender is essential. And I have the Vitamix. All right, I've had this Vitamix for almost 10 years, and when you look at it, you can tell it has seen a lot of really hard days. We even had a cabinet drawer that fell on it recently and broke one of the buttons on the front, but it still works great. It's a workhorse. All right, I highly recommend the Vitamix. Although they are a little pricey though, but so is the Blendtec, which is one of the competitors. I've used a Blendtec, my friend Mike has one. It's really loud, like insanely loud, but other than that, it's a great blender as well. In addition to the blender, you'll also need a good cutlery set. All right, having sharp knives will be crucial, and a variety of them is good because you'll find that different produce cuts easier with a different type of knife. And also, you'll want to make sure you have a good vegetable peeler. All right? I recommend the Y-shaped vegetable peelers. Those are easiest to use. Now, beyond that, of course, you need pots and pans and baking sheets and casserole dishes and measuring cups, but all that stuff I would expect to already be in a kitchen for someone who is eating a diet with meat and refined foods. So really those three things that I mentioned, the blender, good cutlery set, and the vegetable peeler, I recommend at least having those, making sure you have quality ones up front when you get started, and then just start adding the fun gadgets and doodads as you go. All right, when I say gadgets and doodads, here's an example. This little green thing here, it looks like a leaf and it has little holes in it. This is for peeling fresh herbs. So you can put like cilantro through a hole and you pull the stem through and it'll just take the leaves right off. So something like this saves you a lot of time and it's just a few dollars. So as you do things, preparing your plant-based food, just start thinking, well, how can I save time with this? And can I save time here or there? And then look on Amazon and other places for these fun little gadgets to cut down your time in the kitchen. Okay, so you've rebooted your kitchen, you've stocked up on the staples, and you've checked that you have the right tools. Now it's time to get started with planning out your meals, all right? And this is step 4, planning ahead. This is the fun part where you get to start Googling and searching YouTube and maybe buy some cookbooks off Amazon. I can recommend some cookbooks actually, I'll put links down below. But start looking at recipes. And when you choose recipes, pick ones that you think you'll like, of course, but also try to find ones that aren't too involved. Because if you're not used to eating a healthy, whole food-based diet, then you're probably not used to spending this much time in the kitchen. You're really going to be doing a lot of chopping and peeling and preparing and cooking. So it might be a huge shock to you if you go from spending 5 minutes preparing your meals to 50 or more, like a full hour just preparing your meals. So try to find some meals initially that are easier and quicker to prepare. Once you find the recipes, create a shopping list, and we're going to use that in step 5, all right? When we go shopping and we start cooking and preparing. But really quick, I also want to mention that you also have to really plan ahead for social gatherings. And I could go on and on about how difficult this can be, but basically don't expect anyone hosting you at their house or a restaurant or anything to really cater to this style of eating. So you want to think ahead. If you want to adhere to this diet 100%, it is challenging, just so you know. You'll want to bring food places. So if someone invites you over for dinner, maybe bring a nice big side that you can share with everybody, and maybe even a second side of like a hearty salad or something. That way you have multiple options. Other people can share with you, and you don't have to worry about all the food they're preparing if it has meat and dairy and other stuff in it. So for this video, I'm going to show you guys a day of eating. And I'm going to make a shopping list just for that, and I'll put that on the screen right now. This is everything I'm going to need to pick up from the store in order to eat what I'm going to eat today. And what I've chosen to eat today is a PB&J smoothie that I'm going to prepare, hopefully very soon because I'm getting really hungry. And then I'm going to make like an Asian noodle dish with buckwheat noodles and edamame for lunch. And then dinner, today is Sunday, so it's Sunday night soup night at our house, and I'll be making lentil soup. All right, so let's head to the grocery store and we'll start step 5, shopping and cooking. What you'll notice when you go to the grocery store is that you typically just spend time in the produce section, and you'll kind of venture off into the aisles for your whole grains and your legumes and lentils, maybe canned foods and things like that. And you'll go to the frozen section for frozen fruit, and maybe if you're eating the faux meats as well, that'll come from the frozen section. But honestly, your shopping trips might be quite a bit shorter than usual because you're not going through all the aisles of the store. By the way, when it comes to canned foods, try to look for ones that say low sodium or no salt added. Those are just better. A lot of canned products are going to have high sodium, so we want to watch out for that. And whenever you can, go for frozen over canned, because frozen won't have all that extra sodium added to it. So I got home and I prepared my PB&J smoothie. And I'll put this recipe down below. It actually comes from Derek Simnet, his channel Simnet Nutrition. But these are the ingredients. Got some frozen bananas, frozen blueberries. I'm substituting hemp seeds for the flaxseed in the recipe, soy milk, and a few other things, peanut butter. Put them all into a blender, blend them up. There goes the Vitamix. And then there you go. You've got yourself a delicious PB&J smoothie. See, a recipe like that is what I'm talking about. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to whip up. It's not going to take you 30 to 60. So initially, when you're just transitioning to this way of eating, try to find those quick and easy recipes. For lunch, I'm going to make this Asian noodle dish that I've been making a lot lately. I cook buckwheat noodles. They only take about 5 minutes of simmering to cook. Put those on a plate, and then I stir fry up some edamame and just some random frozen veggie stir fry mix. Put it all on a plate with some cilantro and some soy sauce, maybe a little bit of teriyaki sauce, and boom, you got this delicious Asian noodle plate. And dinner will be the lentil soup, like I mentioned, and this was super easy. I love making soup. You just put veggie broth or water into a pot and bring it to a boil, chop a bunch of veggies, throw it in there with some spices, and then let it boil and simmer for 30 minutes or so, and then you're good to go. Again, all these recipes will be down in the description box if you want to check them out. Okay, and again, a shout out to Simnet Nutrition, because I believe that's where I got the PB&J smoothie, if I remember correctly. Now, in a lot of my videos on Minus the Gym, you see me recommend using Cronometer. That's an app like MyFitnessPal and others where you can enter everything that you've eaten for the day and see what your energy balance is, if you're hitting all your macros and all that. And that's for people with very specific fitness goals and physique goals who are trying to make sure they eat enough protein and carbs and fat and etc. But when you're just transitioning to the plant-based diet for health reasons, you're not really chasing any specific fitness goals, I actually don't recommend tracking anything. The best and most enjoyable approach you can take with the whole food plant-based diet is to simply eat a variety of colors and eat until you're satiated. If you do that, you will be fine. When I say eat a variety of colors, I mean the full color spectrum, all right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, or Roy G. Biv, the acronym. We see the full color spectrum for a reason, all right? We are in that classification of animals that we see all the colors because we are supposed to seek out colorful foods in nature. Now, if we were predators, if we were meant to hunt, we wouldn't see the full color spectrum, and our eyes would be more designed for detecting motion and being a good hunter. The reason why you want to seek all the different colors is because the different sides of the spectrum give you different nutrients. All right, so like your red, orange, yellow gives you a lot of beta carotene, vitamin C, vitamin A, lycopene. Your greens will have calcium and more beta carotene, lots of other minerals, antioxidants, tons of antioxidants. And then your blues and purples and dark blues and stuff like that are going to give you anthocyanin, which is I believe it's an antioxidant that has very strong anti-cancer properties, right? So you also get iron, right? A lot of iron from that side of the spectrum. So I encourage you to seek out throughout the day, try to eat at least one food source from all of those colors around the spectrum, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. That's really going to help you get all the nutrients. And of course, eat until you're satiated. That means don't eat till you're bloated and super full, but also don't skimp on the food and leave yourself hungry. You want to just feel satisfied. Okay, everybody, I know this was a ton of information. Hopefully those 5 steps help clarify how you can get started eating a healthy, whole food, plant-based diet. All right, and if I did help you out, please drop a like because that helps me out in return. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and you want to learn more from me about plant-based nutrition and how to work out at home without a gym. And with that said, I'll see you in the next video. Talk to you later.